Look at the healthcare question that we're dealing with.
Same thing.
They have convinced an awful lot of people in this country that our healthcare isn't any good. And it is, the statistics are overwhelming that we have the best medical system and the best medical care. We wait less time to get medical treatment than any country in the world.
I'm a good example of that, except I have some bad doctors.
Right, but my point is, it's a lie that we have this terrible health care system, even though you may disagree with the results, because they just patch us up to be worse.
Well, there's a lot of corruption, but never mind, it still works, and the doctors are not happy with what they have now, but still it works.
Right, because you run across good doctors.
Yeah. And you've got too many people becoming sick. But since you brought the subject up, now, because of education, miseducation, whereby psychology, communism is presented as a psychology class, so you don't know you're becoming a communist. See that? And you pay your money so you're actually paying for, you're giving the rope that they can hang you, but you don't know you're being hung yet. But since you're one of them, no harm comes to you, because you set up a practice, and instead of helping people, you make people worse. But you don't know you're making them worse. And then it's the same thing with medicine. The doctors often, now we have a mindset of doctors who don't know enough about medicine to cure you, so therefore they just, well, because of their insecurity and because they're decent people inside, they want to help you, so they'll give you anything you want. Especially if you advertise all these things, just ask your doctor and he will give it to you. And he will. And so what else can he do? Because he really can't help people like the old-fashioned people do, who did more with less. See that? And so even unconsciously, people positions in power are subject to the system. And what I'm trying to say is this. When I opened the discussion, I said you cannot wait till 2012 or 2010 elections, because the first 6 months they've already owned you. Because what's happening is you've collapsed the system. That's the first thing you do. And every solution you give, TARP money, goes to waste. So it doesn't really go to a constructive cause. So therefore you create more unemployment. But you keep promising, but we always hold out hope that the government will, maybe they're not as bad as they look, and maybe he doesn't know what he's doing, and maybe he'll learn the lesson. And then you have people arguing to and fro, and no one's pointing out the fact that you have an enemy who's a Marxist, and the most radical people capable of murdering everyone who disagrees at a certain point when it gets to that point. Not right now, because they can't. But the point is, because we're a law-abiding country and we've elected them, but we didn't elect them, because we have enough drug addicts. We have enough people indoctrinated in school, the kids. He got the children, the students. See? And we paid for their education. We paid for their indoctrination. And we wouldn't see it. Because where else are you going to get an education? After all, Christianity is sort of like not chic anymore, because there's a certain revulsion against it for a lot of people. If that's God, I want nothing to do with it. A lot of rebellious kids, and a lot of kids who have two choices. You become like the hypocrite mom or dad who goes to church and is not much different. As a matter of fact, he's better at screwing with your brain and shoving God down your throat and not being tolerant of any other view. So that's what you've got in communism. You're intolerant. You've become the thing that you hate. But on you, it's not Christianity. You're just intolerant of everybody who isn't you. Because everybody who's been indoctrinated is always going to be right, and everybody else has to be wrong.